Hey guys, so here is my wooden hand and I've decided to experiment live on camera the first time I'm using it. As you all know, this is a wooden hand you can find at any craft store. I bought mine at Michael's, and the reason I'm using this hand is because I honestly cannot afford a pro hand and it's too expensive for me. They run up to $150, $200, and I got this for $10, around $10 with my discount from Michael's. So I'm going to experiment using this with what I had on hand. I'm using a full well tip and hot glue gun. And this is a normal tip, not the other type of tips that I've seen people using. I can't remember their name or what they're called. What are they called? I cannot remember. It always slips my mind. But anyways, they make it easier. The poppets, some people call it poppets, where the acrylic, basically you apply it and it'll just pop off. I didn't have those on hand. I haven't ordered those yet. So I'm going to try and experiment with what I have, which is a full well nail tip and hot glue gun. I'm putting quite enough of glue so that it is so that it is thick enough and easy to remove. The excess, I am just scraping it off with my cuticle pusher or cuticle remover tool, and so I'm just holding there in place until it cools off and dries completely, and just press to make sure it's not going to slip off too easily. I'm going to experiment with two different methods in case one doesn't work. I can see if the other one does. Same method. I'm going to glue on my tip with hot glue, and I will explain the differences of what I will be doing. The first one is I will be using several thick coats of clear nail polish, and I'm going to let that dry completely before I soak it up in some cuticle oil. But that's the second process that I'll be using. Once it's completely dry, that's when I put the cuticle oil on top like this, and then just make sure it's nice, well coated. And the purpose is, and then I just go ahead and smooth it over. And the purpose is to see if I can create a sleek surface where when I apply the acrylic over it, and once it dries, I can easily just pop it off or remove it easily. Hopefully, that's my intention anyways. Here I've created the design, and then the other method would be I'm just going to try to remove the whole nail that I glued on there. I'm just going to try to remove it. First I try with my fingers like this, trying to wiggle it, trying to see if there's any looser areas, and of course there isn't. It's hot glue and it glued very well. So what I'm going to do is going to use this cuticle pusher tool, and I'm going to use different sides, different angles, and try as hard as I can to wedge my tool in between my wood hand and the nail glue, and hopefully I don't damage. I'm trying to do it carefully, trying not to damage my wood hand. But as you can see, you can kind of tell the tool already wedged in between the nail tip and the wooden hand, the wooden finger. So just kind of wedge it in between. You can see the tool going in between both materials. Just kind of slip off, and there it goes. It just kind of popped off. It didn't require too much work. Just being careful to go all the way around. But as you can see, since my tool is hard and sharp, it did create some dents on my wooden finger. Just be careful if you guys decide to try it. Be careful when doing that, as I accidentally did some dents in my nail, not my nail, but my wooden hand. But other than that, it came off pretty easily. It didn't do any damage really, except for those dents. Now the excess glue that you have around the nail tip left, what I just did is just trim that off with my cuticle nippers like that. And then just there, you have a full design intact. Now this is the second method. And the second method, like I said, after it dried the coats of clear polish, I put a thick coating of cuticle oil and kind of massaged it in, and then applied my acrylic normally as I would, hoping that once it dried I would be able to easily come in with my tool or something and just kind of separate it. that it would pop off, since acrylic does not usually stick, or it will cause lifting if it's on a sleek surface, or especially when it's oily. Because that's what I do on my natural fingers, guys. If you haven't ever tried them, like when I'm trying to practice with nail forms, what I do is I put a clear coat of polish over my natural nail, and then I soak my natural nail. I put enough cuticle oil all around it, and then I go on and practice on my nail forms. Once I'm done, since it's very oily and sleek, the acrylic nail just pops off intact in full design, and it doesn't damage, it doesn't hurt my natural nail, and the design is complete. And it's very easy to remove on my natural nail. But here, experimenting on the nail tip, it's not as easy. I'm going around in different areas, different angles. As you can see, I did manage to get my tool in between, but it was still very hard. So what I'm going to do is, right where I wedged it out right there, I put a drop of a cuticle oil. You could kind of see it seeping through it. So it went through very well, and hopefully this would help me pop it off a little bit more easier. But it's still quite difficult. Actually, it was much more harder for me to remove the nail using this method, and as you can see, it actually removed the whole nail tip, and it left the hot glue intact right on the wooden hand. So as you guys can see, this second option that you guys are viewing, it's a fail. I mean, it did remove it, but you can see that the fake tip was damaged. And it's better for me, in my experience, to use the first method. I'm going to try different methods and see what works, but this is what happens on my first try. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, if this gives you any ideas, if you have other suggestions besides the poppets, I will be ordering those, definitely. But this, I just wanted to share with you my fail and my semi-victory with my wooden hand. So thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. If you have any questions, let me know below. Also, if you liked this video, I'd be very happy to see a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, so please do so, and let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like me to upload, and I'll be more than happy to do that. See you on the next time. Bye bye, guys.